We are going to talk about the different functions of the LMS. So first you need to log in, and it should take you to the home page. Please refer to the LMS login video to find out how to set up your profile and your availabilities and things like that. As you can see, here is the scheduler, which shows the lessons that you have scheduled for the current day, and only the current day. So obviously I have no lessons scheduled for today. To bring up lessons that I know are scheduled, for example, next week, you need to press Edit. You can leave the from date and just change the to date. Next week you can leave these ticked as they are and then save. And there you can see the lesson appears. You need to click on that link and it will take you to the training page. And there you can see the tick means the lesson is finished, the padlock means the lesson is scheduled, and the yellow box shows what lesson you are currently on. So I am on this attending meetings and presentations, communicating assertively during meetings and presentations. It's good to pay attention as to which lesson you are on so that you can make sure you do the lesson in order. So if we look at the training page, you can see the date that it is scheduled, the learner's name, you can see the status. You can, if the learner wants to cancel the lesson, you can click this button. If the learner misses the lesson, you can select Set as Missed. If you want to do a different lesson, you can change the lesson by clicking here, and it would automatically select the next lesson. So you can choose whichever one by using the drop down menu and then pressing save. It will ask you, are you sure? Then you press OK, and there you have success. Then you can see the feedback wall. If you click on that, it will take you to the feedback wall, and that's where you write the feedback. You need to write feedback after the deficiency analysis, after the PTA or post-training assessment, and after every test lesson. That is a requirement. And then we have the meeting duration. It's 45 minutes, but you can change it only longer, 1 hour, 75 minutes or 90 minutes. Then you have level, objectives, etc. Here is where you can start the meeting, end the meeting, reset Adobe Room if for whatever reason the learner can't enter the room, you can't enter the room. That's always good to try. But it will give you a new link to the meeting room. So if you reset the meeting room, you need to send the new link to the learner. Okay. Then that's the training program. We also have materials which you should be familiar with, where you can upload the lesson notes and the recording. You'll also see the lesson presentation there for the learner. The next tab is the notes, and you can write whatever you want here. For example, maybe you didn't finish this lesson, so you can write that there, and so that you remember next time where to start the lesson from. And history just shows you what's happened to the lesson. So you can see this was scheduled there, and then again 3 minutes later. Okay, so that's that. Then you can go to profile page, and again you should be familiar with this. That's where you can get the learner's email address and other details. You can see the learner's QPT results. As you can see, this learner got 50 out of 100. The learner's LST results, Learning Styles Test. As you can see, she did the test, and she is a social learner. User media. She hasn't entered anything, but normally the learner will enter their phone number or a Skype name. You can see their interests if they have filled it out, they don't always, and their scheduling preference, again, if they have filled it out, they don't always do. And then, so after every lesson, you need to schedule the next lesson. So let's say we finished this one, attending meetings and presentations, giving oral updates, and now you want to schedule the next lesson with the learner. So you go to calendar, you go to the date that she wants the lesson, the date and time, let's say the 15th at midday. Double click on the correct time, then you need to select the learner, and it will automatically select the next lesson. But again, you can change that. She doesn't have any other lessons in her training program, but if she did, you can change it using the drop down menu. All the rest you can leave and then save. And there you have the lesson scheduled. If the learner cancels the lesson, as I said before, you can go back here and click cancel, or as you might have seen, go to the calendar, find the lesson and click the little cross. This should always be ticked, and then press OK. To reschedule a lesson, you can simply click on the lesson and drag to the new time. But that only works within the week. If you need to reschedule it to the next week, I would recommend cancelling, going to the next week, double clicking on wherever it is and scheduling it that way. So you can access your calendar another way by going to Instructor and Calendar here. And there you have just your calendar. Weekends, we do not teach lessons, so I recommend blocking your calendar by double clicking. Then you select personal. Then you can leave it as personal meeting or just change it to unavailable, or if you're blocking for a holiday, also block it, you can write holiday. Then we want it for the whole weekend, so from the 10th until the 11th and until 5 p.m. And then save. And there you have a lovely blocker. Mailbox. Learners very rarely will contact you via the mailbox, but it's good to have a look in there every now and then just to make sure you haven't missed anything. Group class, obviously for group class. Training admin. This is where you can get your lesson list when you want to write your invoice for the month. So you go to lesson list and then you press edit, and if we're talking about October, you go from 1st of October to 31st, and you only want the lessons that are completed. So you leave that ticked, scroll down and press save. And there you have 3 lessons that were completed for October. And TP admin, that's where you can create a learner's training program. Please see the video how to create a training program. And that's all for the LMS. Feel free to click and play around and get familiar with the LMS.